There are the plans for the piston. Going to build a piece of 3/8 rod, I guess. Well, 1/2 inch rod. We got to have a 1/2 inch bore. So that's the plan for it. And we're going to go ahead now and build it. Evaluated the bandmasters, reviewed the ensemble's repertoire, critiqued their machine the bar down to get our rod. And the piston will be on this end. We have to grind that down or cut it down until we get it the right size to go in the cylinder. It's going to fit very closely, very tight. Then we need to put a hole in the bottom here for this rod pin, which will be our next operation. So there we have it. Moving right along. Well, we have a situation here, folks, that we're going to have to go after. I was working on this piston, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but that hole's kind of gouged. What happened was the head on the mini mill crashed down with the centerville in there, and it caused kind of a mess here. So I could cut this off, resurrect it, but what I'm going to do is make another one because I need to practice anyway. So I've got another piece of steel here. I use that to make another one. But I found another problem when I was working on the cylinder, which I've got over here in the vise right now. I'll take that out of there. I drilled a hole to a 1/2 inch over on the blade. Then I brought it over here and I centered it. And I ran another bit through there to widen it up to 0.501. And that wasn't too good a deal because I found out that my DROs, there's a little problem with the DROs on here somewhere now. I've got two problems on with that part of the mill. And you can't see it here, but that's a little egg-shaped. If you get your calipers in there and measure it, which I did, I go from 0.501 to 0.510 because I was a little bit off. So I've got another good block of steel, aluminum on order. I'll make another one of those too. I want the machine to work as well as I can get it to work. It's an experiment, you know, and no sense in putting it together if I know there are going to be problems with it. Did it work? Piston go in here like this, back and forth, and would work out just fine, but it wouldn't be as tight a fit as we really want. So we're gonna go ahead and fix it. But before we do, we're gonna do some work on this mill, which is not a very good patent. That's what my old dad would have said. So I'm going to replace that. I'm going to get a different kind of a spring set up. I'm going to stick that up through the rear of that. And I'm going to fix this mini mill up. I'm going to recalibrate my DROs. And if they don't work, I'm going to get some higher precision DROs to put on there. We have a project in the basement that we'll give you a quick shot of that we're working on in the meantime because we can't afford to be idle. That's no fun. Besides, Final Four is finished, and we got a new champ, Villanova. Exciting game! Oh man, I tell you, I love that game. But no more now till next year. I guess we're getting ready for baseball. I think maybe this year might be the year for the Cubs. What do you think of that? I saw in the paper the other day there's this 105-year-old lady set some kind of a record somewhere, and I thought to myself, man, she's lived 105 years and she never saw the Cubs win one single World Series. Okay, over and out. While we're waiting on the parts for the mini mill, we'll go to work on our AR-10, our LR-308, a 308 version of an, which is much heavier .30 caliber bullet than the 22-223. It's kind of a fun project, and it's been a challenge to find all the parts all over the internet. But we're getting there. We got the barrel, upper receiver there, and the hand guard, muzzle brake. And over here, I'll show you the part that we got finished so far. And I think the bolt will be showing up today, so we're coming right along. We'll just work on that while we're taking a little break from the steam engine building project. There's the finished lower receiver and the stock, except for the bolt release catch pin. I'm gonna modify that whole hookup. That'll go here. Put a Rock River trigger in it, which is a 2-stage trigger. That's nicer setup than a stock trigger. So it'll be a good shooter when it's finished. And this is the combination gun cleaning, gun build workbench, and also the electronics workstation. I build a lot of electronics things here. Now some of that gear it's for the new surface mount. Very teeny components that are straining on a feller's eye to work on. But that's getting to be about all you can get anymore in the parts suppliers. The old ICs are way too big anymore for the stuff they build today. In fact, there's a microscope, Carson microscope there, 30 to 100x that I use now to work on circuit boards since I can't see anything that small. Actually, it's not because of old age, I never could. Alright. So that's where this is where we'll be spending our time for a little while. Some more parts for this will be showing up today too, so it'll get there. If I can get her done in time, Davey and I'll go to the range, and he's building one too. We'll go to the range and we'll try them out Sunday. If not, I've got a 6.5 Grendel here that I built a while back that I still need to adjust the scope and sight it in on. I'll take that out. So we got plenty to keep us busy till we get back at the steam engine thing when the mill is beefed up. So that's it for now. Sayonara. This time we drilled the hole for the rod, and the rod pin in what'll end up being the rod and the piston first, so it have more bearing surface to hold it in the vise and more leverage. Now we're going to mark it with the height gauge to 1.323, which is the rod length. We'll scribe a scratch in it right there, take it over to the lathe, and we'll chop off the excess material to get the rod down to its diameter size. Alright, we set the height gauge. I don't know if you can see that on the readout or not, but it's set to 1.323. I think actually 1.323.5, but that's the way it's going to be. So we'll mark it, take it over to the lathe. Well, it went a lot better that time on the rod and the piston. I'm still waiting for the parts for the mill, so I got in there yesterday afternoon. I fixed the DRO problem with the false readings I was getting. Had to take a couple screws out, remount them, build a new clip for the Y-axis, put that back on, made sure it was all working okay, then drilled the hole for the rod out here in the piston rod. It's for the rod pin. Then I cut her down to size. I still have to hand fit the piston to the cylinder bore when we get the part here to make our new cylinder. But have some raw material coming for that. Some 1-inch square, another 1-inch square chunk of this aluminum extrusion. So That, however, is the piston and the rod. So that went much better. We're finally catching on to some of this. It helps a lot when your equipment works. This is the height gauge here and a micrometer that we use to make sure we're right on the button there. And, the height gauge works like this. We got her on there, we'll zero it. I don't think you can read the numbers in there, but this comes up like so, and you can measure something that way. That's got a sharp point out here so you can scribe things with it. 1.813, and maybe you can see there on the plans that it's supposed to be 1.813. So I'd say we got that baby right on the button. All right. Fun, 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 like they say. Now I've got the roll pin for my AR-10 here that I'm working on too. They came in the mail today. So I'm going to go down, I'm going to put the bolt catch in. Make a little progress on that too. Boy, we're making hay today, finally, after we got the mill working right. My materials order from Speedy Metals, that they call themselves, arrived today. Got some aluminum, brass, nylon, acetal. Here, that's going to be what we use to make stuff out of for a while. We got those discs. A base plate, we can cut base plates out of that material right there. Brass rod, nylon, acetal, and a 1-inch bar. We're going to use that to make our new cylinder. We're not happy with the one that we built. This piece came with the kit. We're just going to replace that with a chunk that we'll cut off of here with the bandsaw. And we'll have some material left over. In case we screw up, we can make a lot of cylinders. Okay, the cylinder blocks actually, that's what we'll make. All right, well that's arrived. Good enough, we can go back to work. Okay, over and out. Out and over, whatever.